welcome to my YouTube channel. So from a long time I was thinking of making a YouTube video where I'll be explaining how to build a complete CRM backend. So this is my first video. So what we will be doing is we'll be just going through the product side. Like this is the first video, so we won't be deep diving into the tech. We'll just plan out how we are going to build this. Okay, so it will be little bit easier, more on the product side. Later on we will deep dive into the tech side. Okay, so just if you want to create a CRM backend from scratch, this is the video. So what we are going to do is in this video I'll walk you through everything from setting up the backend, managing leads, automating workflows, integrating third-party services, and even deploying the project to the cloud. Okay, so stay tuned till the end and we'll get started. So this is a PPT which I made like from GPT only. So the first question that comes to our mind is, what is CRM? So if we have a business, right? If you have something like delivery business where you deliver your own products or good, you have a brand, and when your product reaches a certain amount of users, it's very difficult to track. Like if during its initial phases, if there are only 50 to 100 orders, you can manage them very efficiently, and even the leads, right? So when your project reaches a certain level, like thousands and lakhs of users, and you want to attract them to your business, like if you have a brand and you have to capture them, so you need a portal or a product that exactly handles the customer and your relationship with the brand. So I guess CRM is the first product that comes when the topic is building a brand. Okay, so let's go through the PPT as well. So you can effectively manage your business, your customers. So the main functions that it provides is effectively managing your customers in during their entire complete life cycle. Suppose if you have a product which requires onboarding, right? So in each steps of their onboarding, you have to track like where are they, what are they doing, and how exactly you are making their onboarding much more easier. And even after they become your client, how exactly you are handling them. Okay, so that is just a basic definition that I can say from my side. You can manage leads, you can drive productivity. Most of the products are already there, but they are much more expensive, so building them by yourself will be a much easier. There are few options like Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho CRM. I have not used them, so I don't know that how exactly they work. So I explained like why do we need them, like for central data management that we need if you want to scale a business to a certain level, sales and marketing automation, right? And just handling your product. Okay, so I guess we should start with the tech stack. Okay, so like you have a product, right? And you want to make it a brand to make it reach a certain level. So before we dive into the coding, let's quickly understand what is CRM and why business is needed. So CRM stands for customer relationship management, and it helps business uh, manage customer interactions. Okay, track leads, automate tasks efficiently, and we are going to build this on our own. Okay, so this is the tech side. So what are the options that we can do? So while developing a CRM, what we need is a very robust backend. So for backend, what we can use is there are multiple frameworks. Without a framework, building a backend is like not possible. So we can use Spring Boot, .NET, Node.js, or Django. Like in terms of scalability, like people prefer Spring Boot, but we can use any of them, like based on your product. If you want to build this on yourself, and then we need a database solution where we can store the data, your customers' data, your product data, your clients' data, everything. Like for that we can use MySQL, Postgres or MongoDB, right? And then we need to make it secure so that no other member can access it. Okay, so for that we can use JWT or OAuth. Like this can be discussed later, like when we start building the product. So how exactly does the architecture is built? Okay, so we have decided what our tech stack we are gonna use. We can use Spring Boot, we can use .NET, or we can use Node.js, or we can use Django. So in my product, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use .NET Core, okay, and the database I'm going to use is MS SQL, and we have authentication as well where I'm using JWT. So that's it. Then what is the blueprint of our product? So let's start. You decided your tech stack. Now coming to the blueprint. The first thing that we need to do is we have to install frameworks so that it's really configurable. We just have to make sure your framework is really configurable so that if any of the changes occurs, it can be integrated really easily. Like you will need to integrate a lot of third-party services, so it should be really easy. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll create a simple tech stack project. I'm not deep diving directly into the code in this video, but later on I will go through each of the points and we'll code the project entirely from scratch. Okay, so first thing is what we have to do is we have to install frameworks. Okay, so we have chosen a framework which is .NET Core and MS SQL. Then we have to design the database schema. So a key step to design a logical database schema is to include what exactly you are going to handle on your CRM. So what I think is you will need to handle your users who are going to operate on CRM. You have to handle your leads, the leads that you have, and the major backend architecture that CRM revolves on is automation, so that you don't have to automate, you don't have to like manually do each and everything. Like if certain clients are on this stage, they are stuck, so you don't have to go manually and check each and everyone. You can categorize them via automations, and you can use automations at anything. Okay, and we'll be using APIs to communicate with our front end. We'll have a front end project as well, so we are not discussing this into this particular tutorial. So we'll be building RESTful APIs to communicate with our product, okay, using best practices. Okay, so what are the core functionality we are going to implement? The first thing that our product is going to do is, the first step that you are going to do when the project is launched is login, right? So we'll have to create a very robust user and role management. Not everyone can be admin or not everyone can be user. So we have to segregate all of these users such that it's secured and only administrators can get full access and general users can get regulatory access. Okay, and then we can also implement CRUD operations, like you can manage leads, ensure them, and track sales efficiently and integrate engagement analytics as well. And later on we can have pipeline visibility, like filters and all, how many leads are lost, how many are contacted or converted. Okay, so coming back to the project, so this project deeply revolves around background processing. Now our project, what we're going to build is, I've decided our tech stack. So the first tech stack what we're going to do is .NET Core and MS SQL. So we are using this framework. Language we'll be using is C#, and front end will use Angular. Okay, so in backend, our backend deeply revolves around basically two services that we are going to use. The first one is a web API service that we are going to do to interact with our portal, and this next major thing that we're going to implement is complete background processing will be done via engine. So we'll create a database engine which is going to handle the automations in the background. We'll have WebSockets so that we can integrate very like seamless transactions, we can communicate very seamlessly back and forth if you want to communicate PubSub, if you want to implement PubSub, and event driven architecture. So we will have webhooks and everything, so that no third party service has to interact with it. Okay, so we will go through everything. Like we are going to use Redis PubSub and messaging solutions. We are going to have WebSockets. We are going to have automations without any user intervention. Okay, so mainly two services. First one is API, next one is engine. And next, what I'm going to plan is, I want to have analytics dashboard. Like based on the data, why should people like check, add filters and download the data? If we can directly analyze the data based on certain models or anything, or we can generate a workflow or algorithm where we'll just add the data and it will show like what are the total impressions, total clicks. Like most of the CRM don't have those. So but I'm planning to integrate one of the APIs by myself to visualize data. Okay, so that one is I'm planning to do, like report generation and everything. Now coming to the deployment, right? So for the deployment side, what we are going to do is we'll have a .NET Core, so we'll need a VM. So we need to like deploy it on the VM. Then we have to do testing. So we'll do API testing as well, so that all our endpoints are working correctly after deployment. And we'll have a final walkthrough, like checking each and every functionality of our product and each and every function that we implemented. We'll test it thoroughly. Now I guess by the product viewpoint, this video is enough. Now let's summarize what we have done. Like this is the first video, so we have not deep dive into the tech side, like coding side. It's just for the beginner purpose. So we'll build a complete comprehensive CRM, okay, for lead tracking, automation, and improve business operations, strategic data utilization, decision making. And then I'll make a public GitHub repository to the code base, which will be developed by me, I guess, but it will not be public. I will just show it here only, and we can just work on it. Okay, so it was nice discussing with you guys. So hope you gained some knowledge, and in the next video we'll start diving into the tech.